on Cliff House Drive. I just pulled over to start my little camera here, and we are headed down to the actual Lake of the Ozarks to take a look at a really special property with frontage on a cove. It's a large piece of acreage. It's got frontage on a cove on the Lake of the Ozarks, a lot of good road frontage, and it comes with an attached lake lot, because the end of the cove frontage that it has, although you could probably get a dock permit in the wintertime, when the water's down, the dock wouldn't be usable, which is common at the end of the coves when they drop the water level in the winter. But with that lake lot, which is included, you could have your dock and use it year-round if you wanted to. So we'll head down that way and we'll look here. So like I said, we're on Cliff House Drive. The land is going to be on the left any time now, actually. So we're looking down to the left. It's thin on this end, and then as we go, we'll double back on the gravel road down there. We'll go back and it'll get quite a bit wider. You'll need to look at the aerial to see how it's situated, because it's kind of an interesting shape. But even from up here, we've got a great lake view, where it's getting better as we drive. So looking at the property, like I said, it's fairly narrow on this end. You've got a cool view and looking out the main channel. There we go. Wow. There's a sign, yellow sign from the original auction. We bought quite a few of these properties up here after the auction. Okay. So quite a bit of frontage here on Cliff House, and now we'll go down and we'll take a sharp left onto, I can't remember, but I'll tell you in a second when I see the sign. And there's a beautiful cove, and then out toward the main channel. The green roof building is a little bar and restaurant, or restaurant bar, what have you, with multiple slips where you can just take your boat and pull in and grab lunch. We actually spent our vacation this last summer. We rented a lake house about a mile or two from here, and we would take the boat, pontoon boat, to that restaurant to eat, and it was great. Okay, we're taking a left onto Weeping Heart. So a hard left onto Weeping Heart Lane. Weeping Heart Road, sorry. And this has quite a bit of frontage on Weeping Heart as well. So again, looking out to the lake. And we'll go just a little distance on Weeping Heart, and the land is on the left. And it's fairly steep off of Weeping Heart, so your better access would be probably either coming off of Cliff House or further down toward the end of Weeping Heart, if you wanted to do a home or a cabin. Although you could get a driveway off of Weeping Heart. There are a lot of guys with heavy machinery out here who work by the hour, and they can get a ton of dirt moved in an hour. Okay, so the land, get my bearings here. The land is on the left, but I wanted to stop because this is also the included lake lot on the right. Okay, so that's Weeping Heart Lane. And then as we look down here, here's the lake lot. You can see that blue-gray house. It'll be to the left of that, and there's a dock over there to the right of that. I don't have the aerial with me for the actual dimensions, but You can see it's the middle of winter time, the water level's low, and there's still water right there where the dock is. Where the dock will be, if you have a dock, I should say. There's no dock on it currently. It doesn't come all the way up to this guy's bluish gray house. I believe it gets fairly close to that dock on the left. And then, like I said, I'm not sure about the actual frontage. And although it does look a little steep here, that's how all these lots are. I mean, if you look at every one of them, the people have either put in a little road or driveway or done something. This guy had the same topography right next door, and he put in kind of a partially sloped drive with a parking spot, and then he built his house right on the water there. So a lot of really good options. Power and phone and cable and all that good stuff are right here. Everybody uses drilled wells and septics for water and sewer. We came in the summertime, like I said, when we vacationed. We had that place we rented, and we took the pontoon after we had eaten at the restaurant and took it down this cove, and we got a picture of the lake frontage here with a little deer standing right on it. So if we can track that down, we'll put that in the listing. It was just kind of cool. So definitely deer in the area. I'll hop back in. I should have turned my truck off. That's a little distracting. But let's go down and look at the bulk of the acreage. Okay, so let me get my bearings again. Okay. So still everything you see on the left, basically, although it is steep, that is part of the property. Interesting little area on the property. Okay. Got a dead end sign, and that's fine. So this guy, he chose to build right up by the road and then have a walkway down to the lake. So that's an option too. Again, still all the property on the left is part of it. Part of what you're getting. On the right, these are original lake lots which were platted out decades ago. And here's a cabin which looks like it hasn't been used for a generation or so. Kind of deteriorated. But still, everything you see on the left, and we're almost to the point. Have a good map with me, so we'll have to look at you'll have to look at the aerial maps on the listing to get a good feel for this. But now we're getting down to where the property widens out, and this part you can see where it was logged, obviously, once we get into it. There's an old abandoned boat trailer over there. It wasn't clear cut. In fact, some parts they didn't even touch. And this trail just kind of keeps going, so I'll kind of keep going, I guess. This truck already has a couple scratches, so a couple more aren't the end of the world. Alright, let's call that good, and I'll walk around a little bit. I've been excited to get out here because I had seen this property this summer, and it had already been logged. It had just been logged, and I saw it this summer, and I mean, it looked pretty good. It's always hard to tell in the summertime in the Ozarks because we get all these leaves everywhere, and I really was anxious to come see it in the winter with the leaves off the trees to get a good look at it. So there's our lake of the Ozarks there. And as you'll see on the map, this does, I believe it basically wraps around the cove. Look at the map to check it out. But I mean, you'll see why, I mean, the cove frontage is great. And generally when you have the cove frontage, I mean, you can get a dock permit from Ameren. But if you put your dock in here, that's great in the summertime, and much less great in the fall and winter when the water's down, because it's completely dry here. Oh, look at that. That's cool. Somebody might want that. I'll grab that on the way back here. So yeah, I mean, the cove frontage is cool. Very few people have basically the entire tip of a cove, but in the winter it's dry, obviously. So having that included lake lot means you can have your lake home or lake cabin on acreage and have actual frontage with a good usable dock. There's a big heron or something out there. So as we're looking down, on the right is the lake lot. You can see this guy's little cabin perched up there, 2 little docks, 2 big docks, and then the lake lot is after that. And then beyond that, you can see the bluish gray cabin with his dock. So as far as lake lots go, pretty decent. All these docks, except these 1 or 2 at the end, would be usable right now, even with the water level down. So that ties in so nicely with this lake acreage. We were just super excited to get it and have both deals come together and be able to sell them together. It was just awesome. Grab that antler that I just found and walk back, and we'll look at this acreage a little more. My phone just told me low battery, so I've got to kind of hustle. There it is. It's a little one, but it's cool. Okay. So lakefront, clearly lake view. Generally, to be on the water here, you're talking about a tiny lot, 1/10 of an acre. But now here we've got some actual acreage. Back you go, antler. Go hang out back there. I'll give you to somebody. And this trail was a nice surprise. I'll just follow this until my battery runs out. Holy cow, I've gone 13 minutes already. All right, well, let's keep it moving. So this could potentially be a really nice long private driveway. The land looks rough since it was logged within the last 2 years, and it's the middle of winter. It'll basically never look worse than it does now. Every year it'll start to look better. The remaining medium and small trees no longer have to compete with the big trees for the sun and the resources. So these trees will grow quickly, and within a few years this will look really good again. In the meantime, it lets you have some of the trees removed so you can pick your spot for your house or cabin or whatnot. Even from standing here at ground level, I can see the lake. So if you get up at all on any of these hillsides, you're going to be talking about a really cool lake view for a house or cabin, or just a recreational spot. Oh yeah, I'm only up 10 feet and we've already got a really cool cove view. That's excellent. On a deal like this, we would generally have our guys come in and spend a couple weeks, probably find a site about like this, and they'd smooth it out and widen out the trails a little bit, and then they'd spend a couple hours. They'd probably remove the smaller trees between us and the lake to really open up that view. Because in the summertime, from standing right here, you might see a glimpse of the water, but with all the leaves out, you won't see much. So they do that, and they'd spruce it up, and they clean up a little here and there, and obviously the price would be substantially higher. So we decided to leave this as it is, keep the price as low as possible, and you can either clean it up yourself, or you can let good old Mother Nature do that for you over the next few years as these tops and everything rot down and the other trees grow back up. This will look pretty darn good again in a few years. It doesn't really take as long as you'd think generally. So rare property at the Lake of the Ozarks. Paved road, gravel road, power phone. Basically own the end of the cove and the included lake lot. So super nice package. Take a look. Feel free to come check it out. Bring your four-wheeler if you want to. And own a pretty special property.